Alright guys, so any of you remember r/place from Reddit, where the entirety of Reddit could come get together and draw pixel art, which eventually got disbanded, which was a shame because it was one of the better Reddit moments out there. Unfortunately, it got disbanded, but don't worry, like a phoenix, it rose again from the ashes in the form of Wplace. The catch though is that instead of making pixel art on a blank canvas, you're doing it on a world map which anyone can look at the location and see what artwork is there. Sounds neat, right? But what's the catch? Well, when you get a large group of people to get together to do pixel art for various places, naturally there will be conflict and griefers. But the griefers that I'll be talking about today can be described in 2 words: Deltarune fans. Now, it's no secret that a lot of people online consider Deltarune to have one of the most unhinged fanbases. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I mean, what did you expect? You're telling me that the fanbase for Deltarune, which is a sequel to Undertale, had the same cancerous fanbase that Undertale had? Shocker, I know. Who could have saw that coming? That the Undertale fanbase, one of the most cancerous fanbases back in the 2016 era, would have moved on to the Undertale sequel. Now, if they were just making their little pixel arts of Deltarune characters and leaving it at that, I wouldn't even be making this video. But the fact that I am making this video means that they did not. Specifically, they have been griefing and painting over other people's artwork. A lot of their griefing revolves around artwork of Unomasame characters, although I've seen them vandalize other fan arts from other media, so... The tipping point seems to be with Unomasame though, who had a memorial dedicated to Grass Wonder, who passed away in real life on August 8th. Now obviously I hope I don't need to explain why this is unhinged and psychotic, defacing a public memorial dedicated to a racehorse. I get if you guys want to fuck around on Wplace, you know, we do a little bit of trolling, but come on, we don't need to do it to a memorial. There's more than enough space on a canvas to draw your own artwork. You don't need to grief other people's stuff. Now obviously all of this griefing brought a lot of resentment in people, aka Deltarune fatigue, which resulted in a lot of angry posts complaining about Deltarune fans. Honestly, in its own twisted way, this is kind of impressive. I haven't seen this much fandom hate since the old Genshin Impact days. Full disclaimer, not every Deltarune fan is a griefer, and I don't think that all of them have malicious intentions. If you're just one of the chill Deltarune fans who just enjoys the game, good for you, this video isn't about you. It's kind of hard to deny though that the majority of the problems I've seen on Wplace revolve around Deltarune fans. Now while I largely agree with these tweets, I understand that it is very frustrating and anger-inducing to have the thing that you worked hours on just blatantly grief like that. Add on to the fact that I can't pass up a good opportunity to poke fun at Deltarune fans. With that being said, I do unfortunately have to give some grounds to the Deltarune fans here. Unfortunately, I do not feel like being a sides-cuck loser, even if Deltarune fans still fucking suck. Don't get me wrong, I think the Deltarune fans vandalizing other people's artworks is corny as fuck, and they are of course complete losers for it. However, I do think that some of these responses to these Deltarune fans are also kind of corny. The post that comes to mind immediately for this is the "You could stand to be much more angry." Okay man, let's take it down a notch. We don't need to do all of this tough posting stuff. It kind of gives the vibe that you're getting all worked up over pixels. Just for the record, I don't think Deltarune fans griefing artwork is funny, but the over-the-top reactions make it a little bit funny, if I'm being honest. Now I know I said earlier that people can put hours and hours of their time into this, and they can be frustrated when those hours are griefed. But the ultimate blackpilling reality about Wplace is that ultimately it's, well, a public place. And as a consequence of that, your artwork is subject to being vandalized or griefed at any time. Now, this doesn't make it right, and we know full well that these Deltarune fans wouldn't give the same courtesy if their artwork got griefed. We don't need to stoop to their level. Regardless of all of that though, I think defacing a monument dedicated to Grass Wonder is definitely over the line. And I don't really care if people get angry over that. I think that's fair game. Also, I'm pretty sure that's against the rules to vandalize or grief other people's artwork in Wplace. So from a TOS perspective, all of the offenders should be banned. The TLDR is that I don't think we need to get up in arms and act hard about artwork being vandalized. Personally, if I saw that happen, I'd be like, oh, these people are retarded and have cancer AIDS, and move on with my day. Now, while I have ran a little bit of defense for Deltarune, I think it is very funny considering their reaction to all of the mass hate they were getting for vandalizing other people's artworks, which honestly speaks volumes about their personalities. One example of this is when someone complained about artwork being drawn over, only for someone to confidently say that, actually this picture of Rolsei was here first. Well, guess what? It wasn't. Screenshots show that the rose was painted over the original artwork that was there. Yeah, I don't know what possessed this person to just blatantly lie, especially for something so easily disprovable. Dude must have thought we were all born yesterday. Honestly, quite telling to see that your first reaction to seeing stuff get vandalized is to just make up lies. Another person tries to say, actually it's non-Deltarune fans doing this. You are all being psyoped into hating Deltarune fans. Yeah guys, you don't understand, it's all just gay ops to make people hate Deltarune. Yeah guys, you know that sequel to the game that had the most unhinged fandom of all time? Well, surely all the fans of that moved on and never touched the sequel to Undertale. Yeah, I'm not buying it. It's much more likely that it's Deltarune fans acting up. It's also outright funny because they say that we don't care at all about this, your quote-unquote anime girl, and then proceed to follow it up with an entire essay. 5 tweets of just pure paragraphs. I am definitely very convinced that you don't care at all. I can tell by the sheer amount of follow-up posts you have about this. Nothing screams I don't care like dropping paragraph after paragraph in the replies. I'm still not entirely convinced that you really don't care. Can you drop another couple paragraphs to show us how much you don't care for us? Thanks. The 2 main points he tries to claim is that horse racing is abusive and cruel to horses, despite the fact that the horses based off Unamasame have never been mistreated in any way, and that Deltarune fans are the real oppressed minorities. Those Jewish fellas in Nazi Germany couldn't hold up a candle to what Deltarune fans have to endure daily. In conclusion though, while I do think that some of the stuff said about Deltarune fans is really over the top and extreme, for some reason there's a decent subsect of people who somehow believe that Deltarune fans can do no wrong, and that the griefing attempts are actually gay ops by other people to make Deltarune fans look bad. No one needs to do that to make Deltarune fans look bad, you guys do that all on your own. But I'm not surprised considering that Deltarune fans are a continuation of Undertale and Homestuck fans, which of course, as everyone knows, has some of the most infamous fan bases of their times. So of course, I can never pass up a good opportunity to poke fun at Deltarune fans. That's all I have to say. See ya.
Let's play.